Good morning, one and all. Thank you, Global Singapore International Conference and committee members, to give me an opportunity to present my paper on the topic Studies on Avifaunal Diversity and Food Abundance in SALTPN and Coastal Ecosystem of VASAI region in PALGHAR district. A very warm welcome to all the delegates. My paper is based on the avifaunal diversity in the Palghar district. I had I had studied the coastal ecosystem of Vasai Creek in Palghar district, and this was studied from November 2001 to April 2023. And the major objective is to understand the ecological value of the birds in the study area and also their role as bioindicators of habitat quality. The ecosystem is known for its biological diversity, which is encompassing with various habitats such as mangroves, coral reefs, sea grass beds, estuaries, and lagoons. This habitat is providing essential resources for a variety of animal species, including food, breeding sites, and also the shelter. Obviously, the mangroves play a very important, crucial role in supporting a complex food web and also sustaining the diverse animal populations ranging from microorganisms associated with the mangrove roots to the terrestrial animals which is found in the area. Basically, birds are the bipeds, which is serving as bioindicators, and they are very sensitive to the environmental changes. Cumulatively, 48 bird species were recorded in the Vasai Creek coastal ecosystem, and this particular species is comprising a variety of small birds, resident birds, migratory birds, and also wading birds. So the data which is recorded and according to the regular observations collected during the study, this helped to provide a comprehensive understanding of the avifaunal diversity in the area. The study is also aiming to highlight the anthropogenic role in the environmental sustainability and also the potential destruction of the coastal and SALTPN ecosystem in the selected area. Basically, it was suggested that by monitoring the species diversity, it is also the study is contributing to assessing the damage which is caused by the human activities and raising the awareness about the need for the conservation and the protection. These are my keywords. Huigao Beach, which is in the Vasai Virar region, Sun City, SALTPN, mangroves, food abundance, and avifaunal biodiversity. This is my study area, that is Palghar district. This is a salt pan area. Basically, Palghar district is a northern Maharashtrian state in western India, which is bounded by Thane, Nasik district at the east and the northeast. On the north side, it has a Valsad district, which is the Valsad district of state Gujarat and Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli. And Arabian Sea is forming the western boundary, while Vasai Virar is a part of the Mumbai metropolitan region. It is actually comprising the wide amphitheater like Ulhas Basin on the south and hilly Vaitarna Valley on the northern, together with the plateaus and the slopes of Sahyadri. Basically, this area is protected by mangroves, and the They are enriching the coastal biodiversity and supporting the coastal fisheries. The coastal forest is also consisting of salt tolerant trees and shrubs which are specially adapted to survive in challenging environment with fluctuating tides, high salinities, and low oxygen level. Many bird species are depending on mangroves for nesting, feeding, and roosting. In recent years, there is a multi-development as well as overcrowding has taken place in the area. Lot of constructions have taken place and which is creating anthropogenic activities. So birds are interacting with the mangroves ecosystem with their mudflats and coastal terrestrial habitats, which is also including human interaction and agricultural land. These are my objectives in order to observe the distribution of avian diversity in study area and to identify the bird species with standard proper identification keys in order to focus the need of implementation of certain techniques in to attain a sustainable maintenance of the avifaunal populations by conserving their habitat, and also to make awareness among the people about the rich heritage in biodiversity in the selected area, and also to help the authorities and the common public to take the precautionary action. These are the materials. As in the picture, you can see that the Chikaldongri estuary of the Virar is rich in floral biodiversity of tree, shrubs, and also the wild plants in the corner, as well as rich in fauna also, which is including insects, reptiles, and aves. So the overall geogeography of the district is supporting the flourishing of very rich biodiversity, which is harboring a large biodiversity of animals in this rich habitat complex. Also, it is a rich complex of food chain. This is a Sun City gas area, which is located 5 to 6 kilometers away from VASAI station, and it is a containing wet paddy cultivation in the vicinity area connected to the village like Ghas, Nirmal, Kalam, and Buigao. And this area has no wide mud flats throughout. The mud bases are very thin and they are present in scanty patches, and hence becomes a good feeding ground for many birds through the sandy bottoms. Basically, during rainy season, the entire area is filled by water, and sometimes it gets split on the roadside also, which is dividing the area into east and the west direction. The next is Buigao Beach, which is located 10 to 12 kilometers away from the Vasai station. And this area is surrounded by pine trees, and also it is rich in molluscan diversity. Basically, this is during lockdown, if you see, the area is flourished more with very large aquatic biodiversity because of immobility of the human species. And also few of the species I have found which is migratory, which is not actually found in India for a longer period of a time. So some of the fish as well as some of the avian diversity was found in during the lockdown period. The nutshell of all these three sites are selected for the study and have an adequate mangrove thickness mixed with nature. The next slide contains about the methodology. So these were my materials, sorry. The selected area was actually visited at a regular interval of a time for 10 to 15 days. And this observation is not a very new observation. Basically, this observation I am doing since 5 to 7 years. And whatever the observations of birds were made, this was capable by binoculars, as well as the photography was done by digital camera. The observations were made during early mornings, afternoon, and also evening timings. And proper identification was also done by the standard books of Dr. Salim Ali. So these are the birds which I had identified from this selected study area. Basically, if you see accipital barriers, that is shikra. Shikra is a common Marathi, common English name, sorry. And even I have written the local Marathi name also. This is belonging to the family Accipitridae, and most of the species are local migratory. Many of species are winter migratory, many of species are monsoon migratory. So my results are actually differentiated as per the percentage of the migratory species which is found in this particular region. So if you can see, kingfisher, lesser pied kingfisher, Halcynos maranensis, which is a white-breasted kingfisher, then egret, which is a very common little egret, then Tringa, Ocropus, green sandpiper, then Larus cacinensis, which is a yellow-legged gull. Most probably these are local migratory birds. The birds' identification was done by their foot imprints also, and this is an evidence like birds have visited this coastal line uh, in the search of food or in search of for the roosting. This is the particular fish species as well as molluscan species which were found during the visit. And I am with the fisher women during the visit. They helped me a lot to identify the few of the fish species as well as to collect the information related to the fisheries. Yeah, blue-footed bobby, that is Sulanebotsi. This is the species which was found during the lockdown period, and this species is migrating from the European. This might be due to the loss of the signals from their flocks. So might be ऐसा होता है कि some of the fishes, some of the species are in groups, but they actually lose their way. So they become alone. Himantopus black-winged stilt, which is a piscivorous or insectivorous, and insectivorous fish species. Then Indian paradise flycatcher, lesser sand plover, and Ketupa xylonensis, which is a winter migratory birds. So basically, based on the results, the family includes shorebirds like sandpipers and snipes, like family Scolopacidae. So I have distributed the number of bird species as per the family. Only one species from Accipitridae family I got, and maximum species was Scolopacidae, and next species was of RDAD. So this was the observation during the post-lockdown period. Status of occurrence of birds in percentage. The Based on foraging habits, the avifauna in the study area is exhibiting a variety of dietary preferences. So the dominant feeding observed among the bird species were insectivorous, and the total was about piscivorous, which is depending on fish, then carnivores, omnivores, granivorous, and frugivorous. So these are the distribution of bird species according to their feeding habits. Granivorous birds are specialized in feeding on seeds, and they were found in 3 species, while frugivorous birds are feeding on primarily eating the fruits, which is recorded in 2 species. Maximum birds are feeding on insects, and you can say that this particular area is also rich in arthropods diversity. In terms of uh, seasonal occurrence, bird species study area is exhibiting different patterns. Resident birds were present throughout the year. Winter migratory birds are found during winter season only, which is indicating their migration to the area of favorable conditions. Monsoon migratory birds are observed during the monsoon period, and they are suggesting the seasonal movement in response to breeding and feeding opportunities. Uh, Most probably, the strategies for sustainable development is think global, and act local. So the studies observed a rich diversity of molluscans. So for that, 3 E's are being applied: empower, encourage, and educate. So during my field, I had also accompanied my students as well as their parents, and I empowered them related to the AV study of avifaunal diversity in our area, and I made them aware about the sustainable development of avifaunal, and basically a lot of young minds were interested to visit in this particular area for identifying the various diversity in our area. So my conclusion is birds are valuable indicators of environmental changes, making the essential for conservation efforts. So basically, they are the valuable indicators of environmental changes. Vasai area holds the potential to become an important bird area, hosting both migratory and resident bird species. So it is crucial to prioritize the conservation of this area, as the mangrove habitat is gradually facing the threats from the pollution. Like every Sunday, we have a beach cleaning activity where we are collecting a lot of plastics, plastic bottles, and all the debris which are there in the beaches. So with the observations and data collections in the hand, it is concluded easily that Vasai region is very highly rich in avian aquatic biodiversity, and overall zoography of the Palghar district is supporting the flourishes of very rich flora and fauna diversity. The present, if you see the present study, this is providing a valuable baseline data for understanding the status of both micro and macro fauna within the mangrove ecosystem. By monitoring the avifauna in Vasai region and evaluating the changes over the time, we can also gain the insights into the impacts of pollutions and other environmental factors on bird populations. It is also seen that no previous studies has been conducted in this specific region. So the information can act as a crucial for developing the effective conservation strategy. I acknowledge and I thankful to Dr. Salim Ali, who is the pioneered ornithologist and also related studies in India and created ornithological interest in among the millions of hearts till date. I had also referred the Book of Indian Birds. Special thanks to my guide Mangesh Jamle sir for guiding and correcting me the identification of bird species. I thank my students who captured beautiful photographs and also during the visits, and also I thank this fisher women and men to accompany me and to help me out to collect the species, and also making the visit of bird watching program through the joyful learning. These are my references. Thank you very much for listening patiently. Thank you, Global Research Conference Committee members, forum, to give me an opportunity to present my study. Thank you, Sneha Shri ma'am, and thank you, Prakash sir.
Okay, nice
Okay.
presentation. Nice presentation. In the concluding part, you opined that there was no previous study with regard to this issue, right?
Yes, sir.
So, is there any study in any other discipline other than your discipline related to this subject?
So basically, when I visited, this is a very sensitive and very secret place actually, the Chikkal Dongri area. If you talk about Buigaon, might be few papers in BNHS, they might have included some species, but in Chikkal Dongri area, most of the species are being not recorded, because that is a very secret area. And I came to know about this area during my PhD work, and I connected to the fishermen and fisherwomen. From there, I used to capture my fishes. So during that time, I came to know this area, and I got an opportunity to study on avifaunal diversity. Even I had worked on molluscan diversity, so I am actually studying identification of the molluscan species also. I have collected lot of molluscan species also from that area. And this is a very new area found actually. And even our localites, few of the localites don't know about this area, but now the anthropogenical activities is introducing, because now little bit some people are knowing. And after lockdown, people were very interested in coming out of their houses and go for enjoyment, beach visits, and so that's why the people are exploring this area now.
Okay, okay, that's nice. Good presentation, Mukti. So,
Thank you,
since
sir.
time is running
Thank
up, so we do not have much time.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes,
let us
sir.
move on to the
Thank
next
you very much
presentation.
for giving me the opportunity.
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
yes.
sorry.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.